Corvette America presents How to Install C2 Corvette Dash Pads. Brought to you by
RESTOMOD 101.
Okay, here you see Greg is drilling out the side rivets for us to remove the entire dash. For this project you have two options. You can either remove the entire dash, or you can replace the pads with the dash still in the car. If the dash stays in the car, you gotta pull the radio, the clock, the speaker grill, and defrost vent, and you'll pretty much be working upside down the whole time. Good luck.
Okay, when replacing the dash pads on the Corvette, two separate pads are held in by these clips. They're almost like a butterfly clip. They're wide on one end and close on the other. They'll go through a hole, you give them a squeeze, and then they'll spread. And that's what holds them in. To remove them, you take a screwdriver, you wedge it between here, give it a twist. This gets moved back together, you slip them out.
Wow, Greg, so you got the entire dash out. I have no idea how you did that,
A little bit of luck, it worked out.
you did it. So what's next?
Okay, now that we got the dash out, we're going to be using a flat blade screwdriver. We're going to separate clips. This is about 14 to 15 per side.
So 14 here, 14 on the other side.
Correct.
Got it.
It's always a good idea to use new ones to replace them, but a lot of times you're able to save the old ones.
Okay.
Pretty simple. Easy.
Simple, huh? So, you don't want me to do this, right?
Sure, if you can. I mean, I can go get a drink or something somewhere.
No, what? Someone's calling me. I'll be...
I didn't hear anything.
What? I think... What? Hello? I'm coming!
Well, get some beer then. When you're doing the clips, like I said, they got to be wedged in there. A little flat blade screwdriver, maybe tap it in there with a hammer. Spread it as wide as you can. There we go. And you can see the difference between here and how wide I have to spread it. Grab it on the sides, like extracting a tooth. The most difficult on these is going to be the upper corner here on each side and the one behind where the clock bracket is. So especially while it's in the car, once you remove the speaker and the vent area, you can come through the top and get to the clip on the top side. The one here on the bottom, you're just going to have to be ambidextrous and do it with either hand. Be patient, you'll get it. So now, it should just slip right off, like that. Real nice. On the passenger side, you'll have two bolts dropping through the dash. Roll it over. Maybe it's a little screwdriver in here to wedge it loose. There's one. There's two. That's it.
Greg? Greg? I don't know where Greg went, so probably having that beer. I'm going to go ahead and tell you how to take this speaker out. Well, okay, I'll be honest. He told me how to take everything out and left. You got four little speed nuts, one here, here, and here. I already took those out. Now you can pull your speaker straight out. And now we're going to do the same thing with this little vent doohickey. That's the technical term for this. Give it a little, there's one back on this side. And
Hey, what
one
are you
over
doing?
here.
The guys at the bar said you were working. I mean, the guys down the street did. Oh, so you're doing that. Good job. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to interrupt you. Keep on going.
Hey, well, now that you're here.
Keep on going. Go. Bye-bye. Since you're going to be replacing both pads, you don't want the center looking all weathered. To make these things shiny again, it's going to be soaked with oil in these things. So what you want to use is a Pre-Cleano. It's a wax and grease remover. And that's going to keep your paint from fisheye and going bad. So once you wax and grease remove it, then we're going to scuff it up. I guess it's real white look to it, which means you're taking all the oil-based product off the surface, which is exactly what we want. Using the Scotch-Brite, take your time, do a nice even scuff, get in the corners very well, the curves, get all the dirt out of the corners, the mud. Take your time, just do it right, just like anything, and it's well worth the outcome. It's going to look great when we're done. Last piece after we're done pre-cleanoing this for the last time. We're going to be prepping the grill. Want to scuff it up, get the edges very good. Inside through here where the mesh meets the trim. Also, after you're done scuffing it up with the Scotch-Brite, you want to make sure you use a blower and blow it out. Clear out these holes because the dust will gather between the two. And when you go to paint it, it's going to turn into like a mud and bridge across the holes. So just a little tip, take a blower and then pre-clean it, wipe it, and let it dry, and then paint it up. You don't want to put a real heavy coat on right away. You want to just use a tack coat. So make sure you're shaking up real well. Nice, long, overlapping strokes. You don't want it too heavy because you have a texture on this dash that you don't want to lose. So actually, you're probably going to put 2 light, 3 light coats on it, and that's it. Your corners, your edges. Give it about 3 to 4 minutes of dry time, depending on the weather where you're at. It's good for 1 coat. Now what we're going to be installing is the dash pads from Corvette America. It's really important as you're working on your table, always have rags laying down. You got brand new dash pads, you don't want to scuff them up. Again, we're going to be lining up the holes. Just lay it on top there, see how everything fits. And again, I like to start on the flat area, which is going to be the top of the humps. If you're going to be using some of your old clips, you just want to make sure that they're squeezed together. Here's a sample of one that's separated here. And it should be nice and tight, like that. So just give it a little squeeze. Don't over squeeze them because you want to keep that little flare. You want to bring the two together, the fiberglass and the pad together. So reach underneath there, actually squeeze. I'm using the palm of my hand underneath there to bring it up. Make sure you push, feel that clip going down through the fiberglass into the plastic on the dash pad. Just squeeze while pushing down. And if you ever come across a problem when you squeeze it and it's not grabbing the pad, that's not a big deal. Just take your screwdriver again, just like we did when we removed it, pry them apart, pop out the clip, grab a different clip. And you'll see here as I push down, the clip's going to raise up. That shows how much I'm pushing down on the dash and the fiberglass. And you don't see any movement, and it's not loose. Now that we're going to be doing the 3 on the side here, if you have any of the holes that don't line up, we're going to be reaming those out. But first thing you want to do is install the clip on the one that does line up. And that's going to leave you a reference how far you're going to have to open up the other holes. Now you can see your reference and your holes to see how well they're lining up or not. Okay, this will be the 3rd one for the side. Give it a good squeeze together, the fiberglass and the pad. Squeeze the clip nice and solid. Give it a good check. All right. The passenger side comes with 2 studs, washers, and nuts. So what you want to do is lay the pad on there. There'll be 2 access holes right here against this lip. I'm just going to take a drop of Loctite. Draw the threads. Those will be the first items you put in. Install our washers and nuts. Leave them loose until you get them both started. Just get them finger tight for now until we get our clips installed. Okay, these are the new clips we're going to be using. They're like a butterfly. You give them a squeeze, they flare out, and that does the attachment. Grab it with a pair of pliers. And before you squeeze, make sure you're pushing down on the dash pad. There's going to be a nice tight grab. There we go. As you push it through the hole, give it a little twist. If it doesn't line up, you might have to ream it a little bit. And that might be the case on this one here. And all the way in. Grab with some pliers. Bring the dash pad, squeeze them together, and squeeze the clip. Doesn't matter what order you're putting the clips on. What I like to do is usually start on the top side and work your way down, but it doesn't matter in any specific order. Just I like to make sure the top side's going to be tight. You need to remount the holes, the Dremel tool. Don't press too hard, just take out any excess material. See if that clip goes in nice and smoothly, which it does. Get the tool, make sure your pad is nice and tight. Very good. Okay, on the side here, the 3 holes here aren't quite lining up again, so we're just going to give them a little ream. Make sure you squeeze the dash tight. And again, the object isn't pressing through, it's just reaming the hole on the dash piece itself. Yeah, looks good. Good and solid. Okay, now that we've got the top of the pad done, we're going to be doing down the side where the radio and the clock will be going. Line those up. If you have problems with them, any of them lining up, get the ones that do line up in first. And always double check it. There you go, nice and tight. The bottom one here, which will be on the bottom once it's in the car, really has to be a tight one because you don't want it pulling away. This area really has to be good and tight because once it's in the car, usually it gets knocked with your knee or somebody's reaching across and it gets popped loose. You really want good anchoring on that. Good hard squeeze. Double check it. Very good. Double check. All right. Looks like you've got one more, which is kind of a tight squeeze. This is where the clock goes. This one here you want to turn sideways to squeeze it just for access. Make sure it's popped in there, clicked. So let's go back now that we've tightened all the clips. We're going to go back and tighten the 2 nuts that we did on our studs. 7/16 nuts. Don't over tighten them. Do it nice and evenly. There, we're good. So now that we've got everything installed, let's check out our work. Yeah, that's going to be real nice. Once we get the radio and the clock installed and our knobs, Corvette America makes that part. Real nice part.
RESTOMOD 101.